That was great. Thank you for coming.
Fabulous delay.
What? She's not. She's okay.
You're not very late at all. Are we ready to start?
Yes.
Yes. Please be seated, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the wonderful Lochgreen House Hotel to celebrate the marriage of Putri and Ian on a very auspicious date for them. I know how important your presence is and how much they value you being here to share the joy of today's ceremony and witnessing the commitment that they are making to each other. And they thank you for coming from near and far. My name is Maggie Roebuck and I am a celebrant from the Humanist Society Scotland. Ian and Putri have chosen a humanist ceremony because it allows them the freedom to express the love that they share in a ceremony of their own design. Humanism is secular, but embraces the core values of many religions. It's based on respect, tolerance, goodness, kindness, and a concern for each other and the world we live in. So we're going to start our ceremony with a wedding ring warming. Ian and Putri will shortly be exchanging vows and rings. And they would like to ask you, their family and friends, to pass the wedding rings amongst yourselves, and each of you to offer a silent thought or well-wishing for their marriage. We will stop if the planes get too loud.
Oh, that one's big.
That was good, isn't it?
So we invite you to touch the rings for a moment and then pass them on to the person beside you. We are going to continue with the ceremony as this is going on. So I'm going to ask Sean to be in charge and he will start off the ring.
Just touch it, hold it, touch it. Safely, here, whatever.
Okay, so I'm now going to tell you about Putri and Ian's story so far, or the highlights. And this is what they told me.
Disclaimer.
Clad in leggings, accentuating certain features, mascara, cat whiskers, and a Flavor Flav clock around her neck. The first thing Putri commented on when she met Ian was how lame his baggy jeans were. Unfortunately, she had a boyfriend at the time. But after a night discussing the likes of Mr. Scruff and fabric, before experiencing the delights of Attica in its heyday, they were in each other's sights. Cut to a single Putri and a drunk Ian, sharing a taxi home several months later. She, coincidentally, lived across the road when their first romantic interaction happened. Interlocked fingers and nothing more. Next, a Facebook post. Who has a drill? I need help hanging stuff. Ian didn't, but he knew someone who did. And so the legendary Greg was convinced to help save the day. Numbers were exchanged and Putri's next fashion project began. After seeking counsel on a pair of shoes for work, Oxfords or Brogues, Putri stated that she needed a date for a wedding in a few days' time. I'll be your date, she said. Flights and hotels were booked, and a few days later, Putri picked Ian up from Jakarta airport, after which she made him sit in a salon waiting room while she had a bunnings.
Okay. They were going to admit that one.
These are the best bits. the wedding was their first official date, with Ian offering killer lines such as, "I like to cook while listening to Chopin." And, next but,
Salesman.
needless to say, Putri fell for it along with his off-the-cuff 10-year plan. As Ian said, it all happened naturally. Yes, there was a bit of nervousness on the flight over, but once we had our first kiss after she picked me up at the airport, things just fell into place. And Putri said, "Colour me intrigued," were my thoughts, when he kept wooing me with Chopin, a 10-year plan, and an absurd agreement to be my date for a wedding. Crazy as it was, with no regard to common sense, I took a leap of faith. Whatever it was, it felt natural to be by his side. A month later, Putri moved into Ian's bachelor pad. 4 years later, after lots of sailing trips, she was wondering why he hadn't proposed yet. It was their 4-year anniversary. Putri had already picked out the ring around 6 months before, so Ian knew she was expecting. But Ian lovingly likes to wind Putri up, especially with touchy subjects like this. So Ian had booked a surprise staycation, the theatre for Clockwork Orange, made restaurant reservations, and Putri wanted to see the new Bond film. After bottles of champagne in the hotel room, Ian started to set the scene with, "Don't worry, we'll get there. I need another year or so to sort out the ring." Little did she know the ring had already been purchased and her friends were in cahoots. The weekend was a blast. They were at their finest, eating and drinking way too much. Checkout arrived in no time. The final surprise was Sunday brunch at the corner house in the Botanic Gardens. The gardens for them are a weekend tradition. A Sunday workout, walking Dude the dog, and suppressing their hangovers. A chance to chew the fat, solve the world's problems, and bitch about anyone and everyone. The meal was immaculate, with more bubbles to wash it down. They had lost count of the bottles for the weekend by that stage. Ian contributed more to the "we'll get there" story. The bill was paid, and it was time for Putri's slow, empty-handed trudge home. But Putri's friends, Ekta and Jin, were working hard setting up the planned pièce de résistance, an after-brunch picnic with more bubbles. The scene was set with an antique blanket, peacock feathers, picnic basket, and antique bits and bobs. Putri level tackalicious. Time for Ian's proposal. He had been sneaking off to the bathroom to read his notes and message Ekta, so the timing was perfect. But little did he know there was about to be a downpour. Picnic plans were abandoned, with a slow post-pour walk around Symphony Lake as plan B. As they walked around the lake, a perfect moment arrived. The lake was like glass. A kingfisher sat on the arrow pointing to Mecca. Live bagpipes were playing on the symphony stage, and they found a dry enough bench under a tree. The rest was a blur, which strayed far from Ian's script, but it went something like this. "Ian, tell me the reasons why you think I'm awesome." Putri. Blah, 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 blah. She wasn't listening. Ian, if you were going to propose to me, how would you do it? Putri. Blah, 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 blah. Ian, well, I guess it's my turn. Putri, you're my everything. If there's one thing I know, it's that we can get through anything as long as we stick together. We've raced yachts across the equator together, climbed mountains together, and run a business together. I don't know what I would do without you, and so I need you to be by my side forever. Will you be my wife? Putri's reply, something unrepeatable, and then, why did you take so long? And yes. So, few tears, another bottle of bubbles, and some cupcakes with Gin and Nectar, who were hiding around the corner. The day was perfectly topped off with Ian's final surprise. Shall we go to the pub for a pint to celebrate? Well, he's British, and Putri loves a pint of bitter. He had arranged as many close friends as he could to be at the local pub, Bojangles, for a few more celebratory pints and lots of cheer. So, ladies and gentlemen, here they are today, and they could not be happier. I have a few thoughts on love and marriage. Marriage is a relationship based on love and respect that allows individuals to grow in their respective ways. It's a maturing of love, freely given and gladly returned. And it's both ordinary and extraordinary because it's about everyday living. Friends and family, you're invited to recognise and celebrate the love Putri and Ian have for each other, and the family ties and friendships that mean so much to them and help to sustain them. The deep bond of love cannot flourish alone. It's part of a bigger picture. And you, in your own way, have all contributed to their happiness. So I'm now going to invite Ian's Uncle Bill to read some words on love. Thank you very much.
Okay. There you go.
Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not disrespect others, it does not attention seek, it is not easily angered, and does not bear grudges. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love does not fail.
Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, a wedding brings together two families. Putri and Ian want to honour the heritage, cultures and traditions of their two families. They want their families to have close ties with each other. So to symbolically do this, they are going to join two pieces of fabric. Can I please ask their mums to come and hand them their fabrics? Thank you very much. Thank you. Ian has the Black Watch family tartan. Tartan has a long and proud history in Scotland. Ian, would you please hand over your tartan to Putri, whom you and your family welcome with love and open arms. Thank you. Putri has a piece of batik, which has her grandmother's favourite patterns. It represents Putri's Javanese culture. Putri, would you like to hand it to Ian, whom you and your family welcome with love and open arms. And now we're going to join them. Okay. Right, pass them. And you'll hold them tight. Just hold out, that's it, tightly. Now, you're going to put your hands through to get the ends of yours. And then you're just gently going to pull it apart and you will be joined. Ladies and gentlemen, we've now come to the central part of the ceremony when the marriage vows will be exchanged. They are going to exchange their marriage vows in the traditional manner of handfasting. I'm going to be using these two joined fabrics to tie their hands together as a way of confirming their union. Handfasting is an ancient Celtic marriage ritual, and if you've ever wondered where the expression tying the knot comes from, well, now you know. It was a symbolic way of showing that a couple were joined together before we had marriage laws. The original idea was that the couple were betrothed for a year and a day, but yours is going to be a lot longer. It's going to be for life. Would you like to join your hands together? Sit. Before we do this, would you like to have a drink of water? You're
No,
okay?
I'm
You're-
fine.
You're okay.
Is
A
it
tissue?
separate? No, I'm
You're
fine.
okay. I've got water.
It's okay.
Right.
Thank you.
You can't run away now.
No. Too late now. Putri and Ian have written their own vows, so this is the first time they've heard them, correct?
Do you need a spare hand to read it?
When you're ready.
Okay. Putri, Bunga, I take you today to be my wife and promise to always look you in the eyes with love and amazement of the awesome person that you are. In our 6 years together, as Maggie mentioned before, we have already climbed mountains together, raced yachts across the equator together, and travelled to places that most will only ever dream of. It excites me to think of the many more adventures that we have ahead of us. I know that I will not always be what you want me to be. I might forget to listen or forget to share. I might always agree. I might be stubborn and I might be headstrong. But I will always love you. I will always strive to be the man that I know that you believe I can be. I can't promise to love you perfectly, but I will love you messily, overwhelmingly and fiercely. They say that a perfect marriage is just two imperfect people who refuse to give up on each other. I know I'm not perfect, but I will love you perfectly. I will never let you down or give up on you. I promise to always be a respectful, loyal husband. I vow to put you before me in all things, in most things, and to live our story with love and fidelity. I know you as my love. You are the woman with whom I choose to spend the rest of my life. Every hour of every day I pledge to be living for you and for the family that we built together. Our love is unique because we are unique. Together we make something that has never been seen before, an awesome team. Together we make a force that holds the power to stand against any challenge that life can throw at us. Without you I'm nothing, with you I'm more than myself. Today I name you my wife, and I'm excited to continue our adventure together, to put the Team Pian stamp on the world, and to be the very best that we can be. I love you, my little Bunga.
That's it. Right.
Oh God, mine's shorter.
Go slower.
It's a bit of fun.
Yes.
So I can't describe how blessed I am to be standing here amongst our loved ones and to know that we have these memories to share with them. And as I've always told you, I'm so blessed that the universe has brought us together. In the past 6 years, you have been the guiding light at the end of the tunnel for me. A pillar of support, a teacher, and a loving companion. Your strength and ability to persevere through any obstacle gives me the peace of mind to know that I can lean on you for the rest of my life. You have accepted my flaws and nurtured me while still allowing me to be me, a colorful unicorn. And teaching me to learn to love myself before I can truly give others the love that they deserve. You've taught me to find balance and to learn to be present. But most of all, you have taught me that love comes with respect and forgiveness. On a lighter note, I promise to make sure I'm not just hungry if I yell at you. To keep communicating fearlessly. To value our differences as much as our common ground. And to always make you know you're wanted when we're old and wrinkly. But I'll have Botox. Okay. I stand here today promising so much. But I see these vows not as promises, but as privileges. Together we will face all of life's obstacles and share one another's dreams and goals. I promise to continue to be your equal, your friend, and now I vow to love you always as my lawfully wedded husband. Okay.
That's your note.
I will bring that.
You needed to do.
Yeah,
No, you're okay.
What?
fine.
Take a moment. Putri.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Wrong side. That was your
Okay.
job.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Right. These vows were amazing. We've now come to the exchange of rings. This is cute. Right, it's okay. It's okay, you've got them. That's amazing. The wedding ring is a symbol in visible form of the unbroken circle of your love, so that wherever you go, you may always return to your shared life together. And may these rings always call to mind the love that you have for one another. Putri's beautiful ring is the eternity ring that Ian's father gave to Ian's mother when he was born. So, very special. Sean, could I ask you please to bring Putri's ring and give it to you? Thank you. Would you please put it on Putri's ring? Would you hold her hand? Would you look at Putri and repeat after me? Putri, I give you this ring
Putri, I give you this ring
as a token of my love for you.
as a token of my love for you.
Thank you very much. John, could I ask you to please give this ring to Putri? Thank you, John. Well done. Would you hold Ian's hand? Would you look at Ian and repeat after me? Ian, I give you this ring
Ian, I give you this ring
as a token of my love for you.
as a token of my love for you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for touching the rings and sending them your good wishes. Thank you. If you will please remain holding hands, we will do the legal declarations. Okay. Putri, would you please repeat after me looking at Ian? I, Putri,
I, Putri,
accept you, Ian,
accept you, Ian,
in marriage,
in marriage,
to be my lawfully wedded husband.
to be my lawfully wedded husband.
Thank you. Ian, looking at Putri, will you please repeat after me? I, Ian,
I, Ian,
accept you, Putri,
accept you, Putri,
in marriage,
in marriage,
to be my lawfully wedded wife.
to be my lawfully wedded wife.
Thank you. And now for my legal declaration. Putri and Ian, by virtue of the declarations that you've just made in my presence and in the presence of your family, friends and witnesses, I have much pleasure in declaring you married and pronouncing you husband and wife. You may kiss. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We're now going to sign the marriage schedule and we will be back shortly to continue with the ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
You sure? And
In 2 minutes.
have a day.
Handwriting or
What's in my signature? Oh, that's Putri. Just Putri, alright, that's it. Right. So, what's that thing? Is that still?
She's eyeballed. Yeah. Perfect. Wow, you win.
Right. And you and that is P. Horseman.
Is that, it's not in PH, it's just people.
Just P. That's great.
Okay?
And that says. Yes, that's it. Perfect. I'll move away. Good. If you just, you repeat it. First. Do you want that? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. I'm going to get you side by side.
Okay.
Facing. That's it. Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, to conclude our ceremony, we are going to have drinking from the quickie, which I'm sure you are looking forward to.
Very thirsty.
Yes. To symbolise and celebrate the commitment that they've made today, Ian and Putri have chosen to drink from a quaich. And the quaich originated in the Highlands of Scotland to cement love and friendship, and is long been used for a cup of celebration. And I know that everyone here will join me in offering our heartfelt congratulations and good wishes as you start your married life together. So I'm going to ask Ian's dad to mix the two drinks, which are whiskey and drambuie.
Excuse me,
Yes.
we organised a flyover just after the wedding.
Okay.
Red hours, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
Okay. I don't know, which one goes first, the wedding ring or the engagement?
I think I'm running wrong. Is the wedding ring, then the engagement.
Wedding ring first.
First and then the
engagement ring.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Then,
Okay, that makes sense.
You take one?
yes.
It's heavy.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, my face like that.
Say that, you don't want that fight
This one.
My face is like, oh my god, what's in here? Right.
Does that mean I'm not letting you drink all this?
How much do I drink?
Just.
All of it.
Well done.
All of it.
We want. Especially mixed by your father-in-law.
Thank you, John.
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Who finishes this off?
Both of us. I'm cool.
Oh, I can't finish what you finish the rest.
Are you sure?
That's 60-40.
One last sip.
That's so much, you're trying to get me drunk.
Yeah.
Be the first 5 months later. Yes!
All right, here we go. Almost done.
Okay.
I'll remind you of that next time you're enjoying it.
God, 9 months later.
9 months later.
Bouquet.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for being here for their special day. Please enjoy the rest of it and eat, drink and be merry, and I'm sure you all will. So I'd just like to finish with a few words of advice, courtesy of Ogden Nash. To keep your marriage brimming with love in the loving cup, whenever you're wrong, admit it. Whenever you're right, shut up.
I like that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it only remains for me to ask you to please be upstanding. It gives me great pleasure to present to you the happy couple who are now officially Mr. and Mrs. Forster. sorry.